It was an ordinary Saturday morning in the suburban neighborhood of Willow Creek. Children laughed and played in the sun-drenched park, where the scent of blooming flowers filled the air. Parents chatted on benches, enjoying the peaceful atmosphere. Among them was Dr. Elena Carter, a brilliant scientist known for her groundbreaking research on ancient Earth technologies. Today, however, she was just a mother, watching her 7-year-old son, Alex, swing higher and higher, his laughter echoing in the air. Suddenly, the sky darkened as sleek, cloaked ships appeared above the park. The spacecraft glinted ominously in the sunlight, their smooth surfaces reflecting the children's joyous play. Dr. Carter's heart raced as she instinctively sensed danger. The cheerful atmosphere shifted in an instant. Parents stopped talking, and children paused, eyes wide with confusion. Without warning, a beam of bright blue light shot down from one of the ships, enveloping Alex. Dr. Carter's breath caught in her throat as she rushed toward her son, but the force of the beam pulled him upward, lifting him off the ground. Alex's terrified cries pierced through the air, a chilling sound that made Elena's heart drop. "Alex!" she screamed, desperation clawing at her throat. She reached out, but it was too late. The beam retracted, and in a flash, the ship shot into the sky, disappearing among the clouds. Panic spread like wildfire through the park. Parents shouted and children cried, but Dr. Carter stood frozen, her mind racing as she tried to process what had just happened. She quickly grabbed her phone and dialed for help, her hands shaking. "Please! My son has been taken by the Galactic Council," she pleaded with the operator. But the voice on the other end could offer no solace. "I'm sorry, ma'am. We can't track their ships. They use advanced cloaking technology that makes them invisible to our systems." Frustration and anger surged within her. The Galactic Council had long been a shadowy threat, known for their ruthless tactics against any who dared oppose them. They viewed Earth as insignificant, a mere dot in the vastness of the galaxy. But today, they had crossed a line. They had taken her son. As the chaos around her unfolded, Dr. Carter's scientific mind raced. She had spent years studying ancient technologies, long forgotten by most. Maybe there was something in her research that could help her track the ships, or even rescue Alex. But first, she had to gather herself. She had to be strong for her son. Dr. Carter was not just a scientist, she was a devoted mother. Memories flooded her mind of Alex's laughter, his bright smile, and the way he looked up at her with unyielding trust. The sight of his joyful face on the swing only moments ago fueled her determination. She wouldn't let fear paralyze her. Instead, she would fight back against the darkness that threatened her family. Around her, the other parents began to gather, their faces pale with fear and disbelief. "What do we do?" one mother cried, holding her trembling daughter close. "We can't just stand here!" Dr. Carter, feeling a surge of leadership rise within her, spoke up. "We need to act quickly. They won't keep him for long. If we can find a way to track them, we might still have a chance to bring him back. But how?" The Galactic Council had technology that far surpassed anything Earth had ever seen. Elena knew she couldn't do this alone. She needed allies, people who understood the stakes and were willing to fight back. Determined, she turned and ran towards her home, her mind racing with possibilities. The ancient blueprints of Earth's forgotten technologies lay hidden in her lab, waiting to be discovered. She had to believe that somewhere in her research, there was a glimmer of hope. She needed to awaken the sleeping giant that was Earth's ancient fleet, a fleet that could challenge the Council and bring Alex home. With each step, Dr. Carter felt the weight of the situation settle on her shoulders, but she also felt a fire ignite within her. She wouldn't let her son down. She would do whatever it took to bring him back. The Galactic Council had made a grave mistake, and she was ready to show them just how wrong they were to underestimate humanity. After the shocking abduction of her son, Dr. Elena Carter knew she had to act quickly. She rushed home, her heart pounding with fear and determination. Once inside her cluttered lab, she began sifting through piles of old papers and dusty files. Among her research on ancient Earth technologies, she hoped to find something, anything, that could help her rescue Alex. Hours passed as she dug deeper into forgotten archives. Then, finally, she stumbled upon a set of blueprints, yellowed with age and hidden beneath layers of dust. The drawings depicted a dormant fleet of ancient ships, powerful and sophisticated, waiting to be revived. Her heart raced as she realized this fleet could be humanity's only hope against the Galactic Council. If she could awaken these ships, they might stand a chance in the fight to save Alex and protect Earth. Elena quickly set to work, but she knew she couldn't do it alone. She reached out to trusted colleagues, engineers and former military personnel who had experience with advanced technology. As they gathered in her lab, she shared her discovery and her plan. Each person had their own story of loss and suffering caused by the Council. A former pilot spoke of friends lost to Council raids, while an engineer revealed how his family had been forced to flee their homeworld. Their shared pain and anger fueled their resolve to fight back. Just as the team began the intricate process of reactivating the fleet, an alarm blared. They looked up in horror as a sleek Council ship appeared in the sky above, scanning the area with its powerful sensors. The tension in the room surged. Time was running out and they had to work fast. They knew the Council would not hesitate to stop them. Dr. Carter's heart raced as she urged her team to move quickly. Every second counted, and the fate of her son, and possibly all of humanity, depended on their success. The atmosphere in Dr. Elena Carter's lab was electric with urgency as her team worked day and night to awaken the ancient fleet. They gathered around screens filled with intricate designs and blueprints, a mix of old Earth technology and cutting-edge advancements. Elena, alongside engineers and former military personnel, was determined to bring the dormant ships back to life. They incorporated advanced technology, including AI systems, to help with the reactivation process. The AI worked tirelessly, analyzing the blueprints and simulating operations, but progress was slow and riddled with challenges. Every time they made a breakthrough, they faced a setback. One of the ships had a malfunctioning power core, while another needed critical repairs that were difficult to execute. Frustration mounted as they watched the Council ship linger overhead, casting a long shadow over their efforts. It was a constant reminder of the danger they faced, and tension filled the air. In the midst of the chaos, the team discussed the Council's perception of humanity. "They think we're weak, that we're just a primitive species," one engineer said, bitterness lacing his voice. Dr. Carter gathered her team around her, her eyes fierce and determined. "That's exactly what they expect. They don't understand our strength, our resilience. We may not have their technology, but we have something they can never take from us, our will to fight for what we love." Her words ignited a fire in the hearts of her team, reinforcing the underdog theme that united them. Just as they began to feel hopeful, an alarm suddenly blared, cutting through the air like a knife. The Council had discovered their location. A squad of enforcers descended from the ship, weapons drawn, ready to attack. Panic erupted in the lab as Dr. Carter shouted for everyone to grab their equipment. They needed to evacuate quickly. The team scrambled to gather their supplies, but the enforcers were already breaching the entrance. In a split second, Elena and her team improvised defenses using whatever they could find: heavy equipment, tables, and anything that could serve as a barrier. As the door burst open, the Council forces stormed in. The team fought back with everything they had, using tools as makeshift weapons. Dr. Carter led the charge, her heart pounding in her chest as she directed her team to cover each other. "We can't let them stop us!" she yelled. Amidst the chaos, the group maneuvered through the lab, dodging blaster fire and returning fire with their improvised defenses. They made their way toward the back exit, but the Council forces were relentless. The fight was intense, with every second feeling like an eternity. Just when it seemed they were cornered, they spotted a hidden escape route leading to a nearby maintenance tunnel. With no time to lose, they dashed toward the exit, the sounds of the battle ringing in their ears. The team managed to escape just in time, but as they slipped into the tunnel, Dr. Carter glanced back at her lab, now under siege. Determination surged within her. They may have lost the battle for the moment, but they were far from defeated. They would regroup, rally their strength, and return to awaken the ancient fleet. The fight for Alex, and for humanity, had only just begun. After days of hard work and determination, the moment finally arrived. Dr. Elena Carter and her team stood in the control room, their hearts racing with a mix of fear and excitement. The ancient fleet was now fully operational. Each ship glimmered with advanced technology, equipped with cloaking devices that would allow them to move undetected. They had been brought back to life to fight against the Council, a force that had long oppressed humanity. As the command was given, the massive doors of the hidden base opened, revealing the vastness of space beyond. The crew held their breath as the first ship slowly emerged from its dark sanctuary. It was a breathtaking sight. The ship's once-forgotten relics now gleamed under the starlight. Vibrant colors danced across their hulls, deep blues, fiery reds, and brilliant silvers, creating a stunning contrast against the dark void of space. It was a symbol of hope, a reminder that humanity was not done fighting. As more ships launched, the excitement in the control room grew. Each vessel was a marvel of engineering, its design a blend of ancient wisdom and futuristic innovation. The crew members marveled at the sight, their spirits lifted as they watched the fleet rise to the occasion. Dr. Carter felt a surge of pride. They had done the impossible, and now it was time to take back what was theirs. But as the fleet entered the battlefield, the mood shifted. The crew quickly realized the gravity of the situation. They could see the Council's forces in the distance, a formidable armada that moved with brutal efficiency. Sleek, imposing ships filled the sky, their dark forms striking fear into the hearts of many. It was a stark reminder of the challenges they faced. Dr. Carter gathered her team, her voice steady despite the rising tension. "This is it. We must rely on our courage and ingenuity. We may not have their numbers or technology, but we have something they don't. Our determination to fight for our loved ones." The crew nodded, their resolve strengthening as they prepared for battle. They had come too far to back down now. The stakes were high, and every decision mattered. As they engaged with the Council forces, chaos erupted in the void. The crew of each ship worked in perfect harmony, using their cloaking devices to outmaneuver the enemy. Blaster fire illuminated the darkness as their ships darted in and out of sight, creating confusion among the Council's ranks. The ancient fleet was proving to be a worthy opponent against the sleek Council ships. In the thick of the battle, Elena's heart raced as she issued commands, her mind racing with strategies. They were underdogs fighting against a superior foe, but their spirit was unyielding. Each encounter brought moments of despair and hope as they fought not just for victory, but for the lives of those they loved. As the fleet surged forward, the determination to save Alex drove them. The ancient ships roared with life, the hum of engines echoing in the vastness of space. Together, they would rise against the Council, and the battle for humanity's future had begun. The silence of space shattered as the ancient fleet engaged in fierce combat with the Galactic Council forces. The darkness exploded with colors and sounds, blasters firing, and ships maneuvering at breathtaking speeds. Dr. Elena Carter stood at the helm of her ship, heart pounding, as the battle raged around them. They unleashed orbital bombardments, targeting Council ships while dodging incoming fire. The crew moved with precision, their training kicking in as they fought for their lives and the future of humanity. Vivid scenes unfolded. Ships glided through space, cloaked in shadows before revealing themselves in blinding flashes of light. Each blast illuminated the dark void, showcasing the chaotic ballet of war. Explosions erupted as Council ships were hit, their hulls bursting in showers of debris. The sound of alarms filled the air, mingling with shouts from the crew as they executed daring maneuvers to evade enemy fire. But amid the thrill of battle, a deep sense of dread loomed. As the intense combat continued, the team faced life-threatening situations. Elena watched in horror as her beloved crew members, friends who had stood by her side, fell in the line of duty. One soldier, a brave young man named Ben, was struck by enemy fire just as he was about to cover her retreat. His sacrifice echoed in her heart, intensifying her resolve but shattering her spirit. The price of their rebellion weighed heavily on her shoulders. With every loss, her emotional turmoil peaked. She fought back tears as she remembered their laughter, their dreams of a brighter future. Dr. Carter had to keep going, but the burden of their sacrifices felt almost unbearable. She needed to honor them by fighting even harder. In the heat of battle, a turning point emerged. Amidst the chaos, Elena spotted a crucial Council ship, its weapons targeting her fleet with deadly accuracy. She recognized it as the command ship directing the Council's forces. Realizing that taking it down could turn the tide of the battle, she steeled herself for a bold move. "Everyone, focus fire on that ship!" she commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. The crew rallied, pouring all their firepower into a concentrated assault. With a deep breath, Elena pushed her ship into the fray, navigating through enemy fire as they approached the command ship. In a heart-stopping moment, they executed a clever tactic using the fleet's cloaking devices. They slipped past the Council's defenses, catching them off guard. As the crew worked together, Elena's hands trembled on the controls, her eyes locked on the target. With one final push, they unleashed a barrage of missiles, striking the command ship directly. The explosion lit up the darkness, a brilliant flash that symbolized humanity's resourcefulness and determination. As the ship exploded, a wave of hope surged through the fleet. The Council forces faltered, their coordination disrupted. Dr. Carter knew that this victory, though bittersweet, was a testament to the strength of those who had fought and fallen. They were still standing, still fighting, and they would honor their fallen comrades by pushing forward. The battle was far from over, but they had ignited a spark of rebellion that could not be extinguished. The moment of truth arrived as Dr. Elena Carter and her team boarded the flagship of the Galactic Council. The atmosphere was thick with tension as they moved through the ship's cold, metallic corridors, prepared to confront the enemy that had tormented humanity for so long. Each step echoed in the silence, and the weight of their mission pressed heavily on their shoulders. The team's hearts raced as they finally reached the central chamber where the council leader awaited them. The leader, a tall figure cloaked in dark robes, stood with an air of superiority. His cold, calculating gaze scanned the humans before him. "You dare challenge the council?" he sneered, his voice dripping with disdain. Dr. Carter felt anger rising within her but remained composed. This was their moment to speak for all those who had suffered. "We are here because you have oppressed us for too long," she replied, her voice steady but fierce. "You see humanity as weak, but we are strong. We have fought and sacrificed for our right to exist. You will not take that away from us any longer." As their tense dialogue unfolded, the council leader revealed his twisted ideology. He spoke of humanity as an inferior race, unworthy of the galaxy's resources, and of the council's duty to control and suppress them. His words were chilling, reflecting a belief that had justified countless atrocities. Dr. Carter felt the weight of every loss, every fallen soldier fueling her resolve. This was not just a fight for survival, it was a battle for justice and recognition. The climax of their confrontation embodied the timeless theme of good versus evil. Dr. Carter stood tall against the embodiment of oppression, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. "You will learn that we will not be silenced. We will rise and fight back against tyranny." With a swift motion, the confrontation erupted into chaos. The two forces clashed in a fierce struggle, showcasing the advanced technology of the Council against the raw determination of humanity. Dr. Carter fought valiantly, her team backing her up as they engaged in combat. It was a battle not just of strength, but of will. In the heat of the fight, Dr. Carter found herself face to face with the council leader. They exchanged blows, each one more desperate than the last. As they fought, Elena's thoughts flickered back to her fallen friends. She fought not just for herself, but for every person who had suffered under the council's rule. With one final surge of strength, she managed to overpower him, delivering a decisive blow that sent him crashing to the ground. But victory came at a price. As the leader fell, the reality of their struggle washed over her. The battle had cost them dearly. The ship trembled with the aftermath of their fight, and Elena looked around at her team. They were alive, but many had been lost in the struggle. The bittersweet taste of victory lingered in the air. As the dust settled, Elena felt a mix of triumph and sorrow. They had defeated a powerful enemy, but the sacrifices made weighed heavily on her heart. She knew that while they had won this battle, the scars of war would remain. They would honor their fallen comrades by continuing the fight for a brighter future. In that moment, surrounded by the remnants of the battle, Dr. Carter vowed to ensure that their sacrifices were not in vain. Humanity would rise stronger, united against oppression, ready to forge a new destiny. In the aftermath of their fierce battle, the surviving crew members gathered in the dimly lit command center of the ancient fleet. The atmosphere was thick with a mix of exhaustion and relief. They looked at one another, their faces etched with the weight of their shared ordeal. Each member had lost something precious, yet they had emerged stronger, bonded by their experiences. Together, they had faced unimaginable challenges and triumphed against a powerful enemy. Dr. Elena Carter stood at the center of the room, her heart racing as she awaited a moment she had longed for, the return of her son, Alex. When he finally appeared, running into her arms, the world around her faded away. Tears streamed down her face as she held him tight, grateful to be reunited after the horror of his abduction. This moment of hope was a beacon amid their grief and losses, a reminder of what they were fighting for. Alex looked up at her with wide, innocent eyes, and she promised him, "We will always protect you." As they embraced, the other crew members exchanged knowing smiles, feeling the warmth of the moment. They shared stories of their fallen friends and comrades, vowing to honor their memories by continuing the fight against tyranny. The victory over the Galactic Council had sparked something deeper. It ignited hope in oppressed worlds throughout the galaxy. News of their triumph spread like wildfire, inspiring rebellions in far-off planets where despair had taken root. With newfound resolve, Dr. Carter and her team began planning their next steps. They knew they could not rest on their laurels. The victory had shown them the strength of unity, and they were determined to protect Earth while seeking alliances with other oppressed races. They gathered intelligence, shared technology, and worked tirelessly to create a coalition that could stand against any future threats. But as they prepared for the challenges ahead, an uneasy feeling settled over them. Reports began to emerge of strange, ominous activity across the galaxy. Unidentified ships were spotted lurking in the shadows, and whispers of a new, powerful enemy spread like a dark cloud. Dr. Carter and her team understood that while they had won this battle, the war for freedom was far from over. As they stood on the bridge of their ship, looking out at the stars, a sense of determination washed over them. They would face whatever came next with courage and strength. Dr. Carter spoke to her crew, her voice filled with resolve. "We have shown that we will not be silenced. Together, we will stand against any force that seeks to oppress us." With that, they turned their gaze to the horizon, ready to face the dawn of a new chapter in their fight for justice. The galaxy was vast, and while danger lurked in the shadows, they knew they were not alone. Their bonds had been forged in fire, and they would rise to meet the challenges ahead. As the first light of a new day broke through the darkness, they stood united, eager to embrace their destiny, whatever it may bring. The journey was just beginning, and they were ready to face it together.